Shalom, shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Chakudash and Shani Kubarak at the Walla Requab, the Quanyam Nawa Shalayakim Nawa. And that's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom Wabarakim Labakarium Shalayasharala. That's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are still laboring in this work, doing it in truth and in sincerity. So I just wanted to make this quick video concerning the times that we're in. And just this morning, I'm actually about to go to the store, grab a few things. But the Spirit hopped on me and I was just thinking, things definitely will not go back to normal. As a matter of fact, it's impossible for things to go back to normal. And that's because I'm saying that because of what the scriptures tell us. We all understand and we know and we have 100% faith that we're living in the end days. We know that because all of the prophecies are coming to pass at the same exact time, a phrase that I'm going to keep saying. But with that being said and having that understanding, the scriptures talk about what would be happening in these times. And then furthermore, it goes into detail about how the plagues will be coming in this time. And that's how we know that things will not go back to normal. It's impossible because of what the scriptures tell us. And when I say things, of course, I'm referring to society and how with this coronavirus, then businesses have been shut down, schools have been closed, people have lost jobs, gyms are shut down, bars, restaurants, so on and so forth. Now, let's say all of those entities do open back up. Well, that does not mean that things, quote unquote, are going to go back to normal. And we're going to get into why that is the case. It's all because of what the scriptures tell us. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And we'll start at verse 3. It says, "And as he sat," he referring to Yahweh Shai, "and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming," meaning your coming, "and of the end of the world?" And we know that just means the end of the current time that we're living in. Let's look that up really quickly. Oops, I had it on the whole time. All right, we'll go into it. And boom, eon. The word world right here is eon, which just means a period of time and age. Perpetuity of time. That's all it means. So when is going to be the end of this world, meaning the end of this age? The people who are ruling right now, the Edomites, when are they going to be put down? It's basically what the disciples were asking. Now, verse 4 says, and this is how Yahweh Shai responded. "And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them," my fault, let me turn that off. I don't want anybody interrupting. "Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many." And we definitely are seeing that. You have people calling themselves the Comforter. "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And there are articles every day about World War III. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places." And right now we're seeing the tumult of the people in various different countries. We definitely are experiencing I'll say an early stage famine with people buying up groceries in the stores. We know about pestilences, COVID-19, and there are earthquakes everywhere. So if all this is happening, that means that the things that we're about to read moving forward have to happen as well. We're going to read all the way down to verse 12, which is the point. It says, "All these are the beginning of sorrows." Verse 9. "Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sakes." We know that one day very soon there will be martyrs in this truth, and that we will all be made basically terrorists. Now, let's keep going on because it talks about there's going to be false prophets. I'll keep reading. "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." We know about that. Now, this is the point. Verse 12. "And because iniquity shall abound. The love of many shall wax cold, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Yahushua just gave an overall summary, an overall breakdown of how the end times was going to go. I mean, we're seeing everything from the very beginning of what he said, starting around verse 4, talking about the earthquakes and famines and pestilences. So then when we jump down to verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Now, what does it mean to wax? So what I did was just simply look it up on Edom Online. And of course, it has wax as a noun, but it was used in that verse as a verb. So boom, right here, not the second one, but the first one. It says wax as a verb. It says grow bigger or greater. And I don't know if you're noticing it, but definitely in my family, and I'm sure it's the case in many families, whether you've experienced this or not. But this COVID-19 virus, so they like to call it, is basically making so that even families don't even want to come next to each other. People that you've known your entire life, that you've probably seen a week prior to this whole, these shutdowns, now all of a sudden they don't even want you to come in their house. They don't even want you to come near them, even 2 feet. I walked near my aunt and she was acting like I had the damn plague. She didn't want to come anywhere near me. But that's okay because I expect her to act like that. As a matter of fact, if I didn't have this knowledge, I probably would be acting the same way. So I thank Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that we have the understanding of the times that we're living in. But people are already waxing cold towards one another, even in your own families. But the scriptures say what? That it's going to grow bigger and greater. That's what wax means. So this is just the beginning of sorrows, as it talks about in the book of 2nd Ezra. And we're going to jump right over there right now too. But if everything else that the Lord said happened, in terms of all the earthquakes and plagues and pestilences and the wars and rumors of war, if all that's currently happening right now, that means that these people have to continue to wax colder and colder, meaning the love for one another has to grow, or it's going to diminish, I should just say. The hatred is going to wax bigger and bigger is what I meant to say. So we read all that in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Now, over here, we'll throw this out the way. Boom. In 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, it brings it all together. Now, when we start reading 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, specifically around, we're going to start reading at verse 16. This is Ezra receiving visions, basically, of these end times as well. Now, when we read verse 16, it says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And that's how hard these plagues are going to come. So as you keep reading, it talks about the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. It talks about famine and plague and tribulation that's coming. It talks about how victuals shall be very cheap on the earth. And we're seeing that with plane tickets and gas prices. And then when we jump down and we start reading from verse 37, what I have highlighted, it goes into how specifically these plagues are going to come when they come in the end days. This is how we know things will not go back to normal. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. It didn't say just in America. It didn't say just in Spain. It didn't say just in China. It said on every side. The whole world is mourning right now. That's because we're living in the end days, and the Lord is working, and he put this COVID-19 virus out there. No matter what it really is, no matter where it's really coming from, it's out there and people are dropping dead. Whether the numbers are inflated or not, because over there in China, they're saying they're not inflated enough. They're saying around 46,000 people plus now. I seen that number last week. They're saying the real number is around 46,000 plus that have died. So some people say the numbers are inflated. Some people say they're not inflated enough. Regardless, we know that the entire world is basically shut down right now because of this COVID-19 virus. And the scriptures talk about how these plagues, they're not going to be slack. And you see how hard this COVID-19 is bringing, or is coming to the world. I'm just going to say, couldn't really get my mind right now. But it's basically ushering in a recession right now. And that recession is going to go into a even bigger depression than what we seen back in 1929. It's going to be even worse. And how do we know that? Well, let's jump back here. Matthew chapter 24, where we were reading in the beginning, and we simply jump down to verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So things will not go back to normal. Even if, I'm going to say it twice, even if this whole COVID-19 thing dies down and businesses open back up, gyms are open and restaurants and bars and clubs, it doesn't matter. It's going to be very, very temporary until Esau brings something new. I mean, you can look forward to a so-called false flag. I don't want to say the other T word because I don't want them to take this video down. But you can look forward to that, a false flag attack. Guaranteed. That's just how Esau has worked in the past. And we know that there's nothing new. This whole COVID-19, you can call it a false flag because we know it was created in a lab. There's a patent behind it. But ultimately, this is the Most High working, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And it's all biblical prophecy. Things will not go back to normal. It cannot go back to normal. And Salakia, if I was a little bit jumbled up in my words, but I was very excited to make this video. And I wanted to get these thoughts out while they were still in my mind this morning before I'm sitting in the car right now, before I went to the store. Just wanted to get these things out. But things won't go back to normal. And I pray that this video uplifts your spirit if you are feeling a little bit down, because we're in the time of winning. The prophets are going to win. The prophets, the 1/3, we're all going to win. The scriptures say that we're going to be merry-hearted and laughing in these days. We're going to eat. We're going to be fine. We're going to be protected. So there's nothing to worry about. And that's what we should be pushing to the elect. As long as you continue to have faith and do the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, then there's nothing to worry about moving forward. We are going to be protected. The Lord promised us that. So call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Dash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.